It's going to BobbyFi, the man, Eric Sheetaber. We have our first full golf slate of the year. We don't have 40 players. We have a cut line. We have real stuff we can get into. We've got weird names. We don't just have the household names. So it should be fun. I'm excited to get back to it. This was a good moneymaker for me for most of last year after I got it going, and I want to get back to it. What do you think of this slate, and what are your sort of initial thoughts?
I don't know. For me, they look like the normal names. I don't even regard like those top guys like guys I even care about, like Rory McIlroy and Justin Thomas, like the top golfers, and John Rahm. Get them out of here. Let's battle it out between the Russell Knoxes and the Joel Damons and the this, that, and the other thing. That's Sheets golf.
And the general, of course, too.
And the general. We're going to get right into it because we talk about this all the time. You have a guy who either tied or broke whatever the PGA record for most under par. He was like Cam Smith was minus 100 last week, and he won. He won the tournament, and he's right back to it. And he's the highest priced guy, and he projects the best. And I'm going to make the case to not play him. And you're going to come in and you're going to say, why does everybody just think that just because the guy won last time that he's not going to win this time? So I love it. I mean, we're right there with the same thing. And the honest answer is, I don't know the answer. So we will, I guess we will start off with that. But I love this slate because it's all the dudes that I either like playing or hate playing. They're all in there. Hopefully we could do well. I actually ended up getting 10th in the single entry last week.
Oh, nice.
Which pretty much paid for the rest of the disaster. But again, that was just kind of flexing, our muscles in the no cut event, ready to get into it for the real one. So I guess I'll just share my screen and we'll go right into now. By the way, it is going to be another minus 100 week out there. And you're also going to not really care about picking guys that can drive the ball 1,000 yards. You want good putters. You want guys that'll get birdies, and you're not giving up much by not being a big driver, which is going to bring up some guys that are quote unquote back in our lives again. And one guy in particular that I don't play too often that I'm going to play probably. We'll get to that in a little bit. So I'm sharing my screen. So the top. So let's talk about, I guess, the top board. So I guess I'll start. So I do have, by the way, Cam Smith as the best play. He certainly projects the best. He's actually pretty reasonably priced, given, again, like you said, that all those other guys are out. So and I only have him at, let's say, 20% ownership. So it's not like he's like huge chalk eater. Mm-hmm. And probably for a number of reasons. Number one is because what I said, people don't like to play guys that won the week before,
right?
And and like you said, all things come down to ownership. And if that type of thinking, which I put out, that a lot of people think that way, and you get a guy like that at low ownership, I mean, rock the house. So I do like that. And then I'll rank the other guys as follows. I like Webb next, then Im, then Hideki, and then really, really no interest in Leishman. But I do. If I had to rank these guys, I would like Cam Smith the best, and I don't have him any higher owned than Webb or than Im.
No, I think Webb's going to be significantly higher, in my guess.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So I would prefer Smith over those other guys. I do think that I'm going to probably end up doing some, at least for my bigger one, some non-Cam Smith build, but I certainly have no problem.
Yeah, I think I probably my instinct is to fade everybody at 10K or higher. I don't know if I'm right. That's just my first instinct to see the amount of ownership that all these guys are getting when I don't think we need to in this kind of a tournament. I'm not saying Cam Smith is not better than Corey Connors, but
right.
I don't think the gap is huge. You are paying extra. I don't know that you necessarily need to. And I'll go with the lowest owned of the top guys being my favorite, and that's Hideki. He's going to be significantly lower owned than everybody else around him. I love Sung Jae as a guy who we can get it in, as the 30th priced golfer and stuff. He's going to be like in all my lineups when that happens.
Yeah.
But when they start making him this price, like part of why he's so good and why he ends the season so well is he plays every freaking event. I don't think I need to play 10-3 for him or 10K for Leishman. Now, it could end up biting me if any of these guys win, sure. But I'm okay with mostly fading this and just focusing on the top 2 priced ones, and that's the low-owned Hideki and what I think will be the second lowest owned in Cam Smith. So that's what I'm going to do.
I don't disagree.
Yeah. All right. Why don't you start us off with the 9K range?
So the aforementioned Corey Connors certainly stands out as a good play. I have him as like 5th ranked in my sheets, or 4th ranked based on value and everything else. But going right back to the UL, Taylor Gooch at 9,100. I have him ranked really, really high. He's going to be owned as well, but hopefully we get different elsewhere. So I'd like Gooch the best, then Connors, and then honestly, we're that now dropping as far as I'm concerned. I like guys in other ranges better than other guys in this range. Like I don't, but you can get ownership discounts. Like you can play Harris English at like less than 10%. You can get maybe Kevin Na less than 10%. Whatever. Maybe on Abe Answer, who I usually like to play. It's not showing up for me as much this week because of the price 9,700. But even he might be less than 10%. So you get ownership discounts. You play those guys. But I'm probably gonna play mostly Gooch and Connors.
I like those are my favorite. Connors is the guy I have he'll be the highest owned player I roster in probably in any range, but certainly in this range. I like Gooch as well, but I think that I think there's and my other two I'll skip. I don't know what it is. I just don't play Kevin Na. Like there'll be a time where maybe I do, but I just don't. I would go English next and then Answer, or actually Answer then next then English. They're both, I think they're both very viable for, the fact that they're going to be lower owned than the other guys around them. But I do think Gooch and Connors are my preferred plays there. The 8K range is where I think we're going to probably want to do some stuff.
Yeah, the 8K ranges. That's where I'm gonna fancy play syndrome my way out of cashing or whatever. Because not fancy play syndrome again. Because I'm not a narrative guy, especially in golf. But this one freaking guy I just won't play because I'm so stupid. But whatever, 100 guys to choose from, I can make up whatever reason I want not to play. When I went to see PGA a couple of months ago, I just saw him on the tee and he gets all frustrated. He's got a terrible freaking attitude. He has a scowl on his face whenever I watch him play. I'm like, I just don't feel like playing you. And no matter how he projects, I just don't play him. So I'll just tell you that the guy who's rates number 2, like overall play, who I am not playing, is Russell Hem.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, I just don't like doing it. I don't know what to tell you, but that's that. The 2 guys that rate for me as the top plays. One, that I am going to play. Number 1 is Seamus Power at 8,100, and another one who I just keep getting to, and I keep going back to, and I don't think he's ever made the cut for me. Much less, or if he did, he didn't make it into anything else. I guess the models just keep liking Charles Howell III. I don't know why, how, who, what, or where. I probably spent like $3,000 on this guy over the past season, and he's never done anything for me. But in for a penny, in for a pound. I'm gonna keep playing some of this. So Charles Howell, and then there are 2 guys I wanted to ask your opinion on. I mean, I didn't update my ownerships, but I have. I mean, I will again. I have 2 guys rated like similarly, and the ownership is similar. I just can't imagine. Like I have Matt Jones and Jason Kokrak rated about the same. I don't see a world where I would play Matt Jones over Jason Kokrak. Like, and again, this is my maybe narrative. I'm just staring at this. I'm like, Matt Jones is kind of a fun play to just have fun and play Matt Jones. But Jason Kokrak's actually has winning upside. You know what I mean? And Matt Jones, he had a great week this past weekend. But I would rather play Kokrak at similar ownership than Jones, if that makes any sense. So Kokrak, what should I say? Howell, Power would be my 3 guys, and fading Russell Henley as probably the best play.
Yeah, I actually like Kokrak and Matt Jones.
Okay.
I prefer Kokrak. He was one of the first guys who I wanted to get it in on, but I do think Matt Jones playing well. Like and he's not going to be crazy owned either, which I like. And then I like Horschel. Horschel is the other guy I had in this range as a priority. You are going to get lower ownership on Van Rooyen, but this is not necessarily a course where you really need a guy like Van Rooyen at the same time. He's a decent enough golfer at 8,200, like to get a low ownership guy, but I mean, look, everything does show up perfectly for Russell Henley. So I am probably going to play him even though you're not going to. I think that I'm going to end up with a little bit of Russell Henley at least.
I don't blame you.
The other one I'm going to go to is Cam Davis.
I like that.
Okay, so those are the guys for me.
All right, so 7K. I have 1, 2, 3. I like 6 guys I want to talk about. Okay. The top one for me is going to be Siwoo Kim at 7,700.
Yep.
I don't know. He'll probably get 10% ownership. I mean, so it's not going to be off the board, but he's my top rated guy. Second guy and the third guy are guys I alluded to earlier when I talked about course fit and what you kind of want over here. And one of them is going back to Brendan Todd at 7,500. He doesn't drive the ball particularly far, but he hits the ball pretty accurately. And you want a birdie hunt. I think that's one of the guys you want. And I have him very, very low owned. So I like that. Then another guy who, I was going to not play him. Then admittedly, I game log checked to see. But the guy who's known as like one of the best putters, who's actually been putting up some good rounds, is Danny McCarthy. So he's 7,400. I like that. The guy who's projecting probably to be the highest owned of this range, is Joel Damon. He's no better as far as I'm concerned than any of the guys that I just mentioned. I mean, he's fine. I mean, I like it, but I'm not paying twice the ownership for him as anybody else.
Yeah.
And then 2 other guys I wanted to mention. One is Russell Knox. He was pretty good at 7,100. And then another guy who don't laugh. He's an older guy, whatever it is, but he's got some wins. He's got a good temperament. He doesn't hit the ball that far, but Stuart Sink at 7,200, I think is definitely viable to this week. So I don't know if I did the entire board, but I like all that.
No, there's a lot of guys in the 7K range, so you didn't do the whole board.
Okay.
I can get behind the Denny McCarthy logic. I'm always going to be a sucker for Bezadenhout.
Okay.
And I don't mind. So I really like that play, actually. That there's no way I'm going to play a tournament and not play any Patton Kazire, but it's not like the best fit for him or anything like that. I really agree with what you said, though, about Brendan Todd. I think that he's a guy who stands out, and he's not going to be owned. People just don't like to play him. And I agree. It's the kind of thing where, he's a guy who just hits it straight. He's consistent. He doesn't have the power to compete on some of the bigger courses. So this seems like a better spot to play him than most. I understand that Damon's going to be popular, so I'm probably just going to avoid it because I agree with you that he's not as different than anybody, including guys like Ryan Palmer, who we didn't even talk about already.
Yep.
And I really like Siwoo Kim as well. So I'm going to be high on that one.
We're going to be in that one then. Okay,
yeah,
good.
I think Siwoo Kim is a really, really strong play here. And I think that it's a new year. Okay. It's a new thing. I can maybe talk myself into letting Grillo beat me. I'll give him another year. You know what I mean? Like he literally just massacred all my monster, like literally beautiful lineups everywhere, top 5s, top 3s, and everybody 5 of 6s and just always.
He was a slate killer.
He was the one who killed me every time. But I don't mind Grillo and I don't mind Norlander, who is going to be completely unowned. Just a cut maker with upside. Consistently in the top 30, 40 for that. And then the one last guy I want to mention who I actually have as my priority of this range is, along with Kim, is Alex Smalley.
Oh, I like that.
So that's where I'm at here.
I'll throw one other guy, it's 5%. I mean, this guy doesn't hit that far also. I mean, what's Brian Harmon doing at 5% owned? I mean,
I didn't even notice that at first.
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually, I'm going to add him to my list then. Yeah. Didn't want to keep up too big a list, but I'm Sorry,
Yeah.
nothing I can do about it. All right, talk about the 6K guys, and I'm gonna load our old
I
video.
got the same two guys I always get, Michael Thompson and John Hall. And you don't need either of them. You know what I mean? Like those are my two guys that show up for me. And nobody else really shows up for me.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily loving this either. I always like to take shots with like guys like Sabatini, so I think I could be talked into that one.
Yeah.
Just a guy who, like, what's great about Sabatini is he'll be 3 strokes behind. He'll finish 3 strokes worse than somebody who's ahead of him, but he'll have more points than they do.
Right.
Like, and those are the kind of guys who, the more you play these tournaments, the more you want to get involved in. Lebioda crossed my mind. Thigala, I actually have a friend who recommended that, which is really weird because he's like not going to be owned. He's 0.5% or if
Wait,
that.
what's the guy's name?
It's Sahith Thigala,
Okay.
who is like, everybody keeps, I don't know, expecting the most out of this guy. But the guys who are actually a little bit like real, like guys we've played before and actually make a little sense if you're going to go there. Mark Hubbard, Nick Hardy, not exciting stuff here. But
No.
again, maybe you don't really need it on this slate. And we say that, but at the same time, there will be a guy at 6K in the 6K range, probably in the top 10, because it seems to happen every time. So
Lucas
take it
Glover.
with a grain of salt.
You could do Lucas Glover if you want. I mean,
Lucas Glover, there's another one. Actually, I like that idea. Yeah, so I'm much more into the 7K range is obviously where I'm most interested in players, and I might just play multiple of the medium 7Ks and then go up to the 9Ks and 8K guys and skip some of the 11Ks.
All
So
right.
let's do the game. But I'm going to load
who's going to win? I have it down to between. I think you'll take one, and then I can take the other. I have three possibles that I'm going to use in this part of the contest about who's going to win the tournament. So I'll let you go first.
No, actually, can you go first? Because I'm actually loading the video right now. That's okay.
Okay, well then, fair enough. I will go. Cam Smith.
Yeah, I like him too. So I'm going to say Corey Connors. I know
That's the other one I would have taken. If you took Cam Smith, I was taking Corey.
Perfect. So we're gonna talk about those guys anyway. All right. So how about after those guys? How about the next range? And we're talking about a top 5, or it's anything below 10K, which shouldn't be
anything below 10K. And you'll all notice that we both like Corey Connors at 9.6 to be better than some of these 10K guys.
Yep.
I will go with the Gooch.
Oh, I like that. Okay. So I have to find another one here because I was let's see. I used my hold on. Let me grab my list. Who did I have there? Okay, I'm gonna say. Do I really want to say that? All right, I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say Answer.
I like it.
Answer and Gooch. Okay.
I have 2 outright bets, by the way, both at like a zillion. I have the Answer, and I bet on the General as an outright.
Oh, I love it. Look, this could be the General's year.
Yeah. So under 9K to get, what would say, top 10?
Yep.
Yeah. If I wonder if I say the guy's name in this contest, will that get him to freaking finally get there? I just don't have the confidence to say Charles Howell. I just don't have it in me. So what I will do is I will say Seamus Power.
Oh, I like that call.
Because I'm not doing Russell Henley. He can take his attitude and win someone else.
Yep. Okay.
That would be you.
Apparently it's going to be me. It's a little chalkier though than what I wanted to say here. So I'm going to go with Kokrak, and I think a little 1A to Billy Horschel too.
Okay.
I like Kokrak a lot. I just think because he has a bad week, we're going to just be off of him. I mean, get out of here. Like it's just too much overthinking, I think, in my opinion. Oh, we didn't mention one guy I really like in the 7K range, by the way. I guess maybe I'll save it for this one, and you can go first,
Okay.
and then I'll just save it.
All right. So I will take, just to set you up, I will take Siwoo Kim as my top under 8K guy to get top 20.
Good. Because I like Kim as well, as we know. Kim, and I want to say the General because he's my guy. But I am going to say the guy who I forgot to mention the first time, and that's Chris Kirk.
Ooh,
That's
let's go.
Kirk
Like
is
that.
yeah, Kirk. I really like the 7K range. Kirk, Kim, Bezaden Hoot. I like all these guys, and I don't mind the guys you mentioned either. So Now we need the 6K guy to make the cut.
Whatever. I'll take high. Yes.
You took huh?
Yeah, sure.
All right, you mentioned.
I don't think I'm gonna play him.
Yeah, I'm gonna say a guy who once made me a lot of money, or almost made me a lot of money.
We got Seifert?
No, Mark Hubbard.
There you go. Why not?
Why not? Okay, so Hubbard and are at least on my list because we.
Yes, exactly.
All right, guys. Well, good luck to everybody. We hope everybody crushes it this time, and let's we'll get the Discord going.
I had one other announcement to make for those of you who didn't notice. I did put out. Again, I should probably play. I did put out Yahoo projections for those of you that want to play Yahoo Golf. I don't even know what first prize is in these things, but that's on there at least. And I'm going to update all the ownerships within the next couple of hours. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, thanks for doing that, man. All right, well, great, and good luck to everyone today. And we'll depending on when you watch this, we're around 6 Eastern for the NBA slate. So good luck, everybody.